Well, YouTube, welcome back to Politically Black with Drew here, aka Gamer Guy Vladimir on my other channel. But today, in this video, what I got for you guys is the privilege talk. We're going to talk about what privilege is. As a white person, is speeding 5 over, getting pulled over, and then getting let go because you were only 5 over, is that white privilege? No. It's actually a legal privilege you have to be over 5 or under 5 miles per hour. I believe it goes up to 10 depending on where you're located. 5 to 10 miles under or over the speed limit based on weather conditions and your own ability to drive. If your car's having problems and you're 5 under and it's because if you go 5 over you're gonna blow your engine, no cop is gonna fucking sue you for not killing yourself. No cop's ticketing you, nobody's gonna sue you, and no cop's ticketing you for not being willing to kill yourself. So that's a huge thing. Other than that, though, I mean, really, like, what is privilege? How does one attain privilege? How does one express privilege? And how does one utilize privilege? Privilege does not exist in the US except for the awesome. You have to be preferentially preferred at a place you shop or endorse, and you will get preferential treatment. So, for instance, if I walk into Nike and I demand the 1993 Air Force One silver on black and they don't have them, guess who's shit out of luck? This guy. If fucking Dwayne Wade shows up at that same Nike and goes there every single day, we're just gonna say he shops there every day, whether he buys a Nike set of shoes or a fucking jacket, he's shopping there every day. So, he gets his Nike shoes and he's like, I want them Air Forces that kid was looking for. And the guy starts calling around. That's the kind of shit you'll do for someone you view as a celebrity or view as cool or view as, even edify as a cool person. Like, that's something you'll do for those people, is you'll make them feel at home in your own shop. You'll hook them up like they was the family coming through. That's privilege, and that's earned. Privilege is earned through reputation. Something the left has none of, and we'll get to that. You do not simply get to start out and demand going to this new Nike store that they go out of their way to find that you get every shoe, well, okay, yeah, we're all equal, right? We're all equal, right, as people. But here's the thing. If you're not cool to the cashier don't gotta be cool to you, baby cakes. I didn't know the brother 7-Eleven, or since I was getting a $10 gift card, he might not have charged me for my bottles of water. Sometimes I get free bottles of water. It ain't a sin. But what I can tell you is this. I can tell you that it's wrong to assume it's privilege because I'm the wrong color to get any sort of privilege. So I go to my Healing Stone store. And Healing Stone store dad's like, we got a stone of the day and all this, which is free with your purchase. And so I'm making a purchase, but then I grab another $1 stone and he's like, just throw it in. Don't even worry about it. It seems like something you needed. So Stone store dad and Stone store ma got my back over there when I go look at Healing Stones. And it's because when I go in there and talk to them about my experiences and why I use the stones, I tell them about the fact that I did some shit I wasn't proud of when I was younger. And some shit that left my soul dirty when I was younger. And that the stones, at least if they don't help, they at least make me feel like they do. It's that gardening feeling. It's that feeling of true peace. Like when I'm just putting my hand through my rocks and running my hand up and down it. It's all I feel, baby, is peace. I'm finally in my garden, you know what I mean? I'm finally that warrior who meets his garden. But that's the kind of vibe I give off when I'm around rocks. Okay, well that's not the kind of vibe I give off when I'm going to the Target I've never been to. I don't know the Target employee. I don't really want to know the Target employee. Now hear me out. Do I get preferential treatment at Target? No. Is it because of the color of my skin? No. Is it because of any hidden level of extra privilege that the guy whose cousin works there for? No. That guy's cousin slid him a free pretzel. Was that privilege? Family privilege. But it had nothing to do with race. If my cousin worked there, believe me, I'd have 3 free pretzels a day. That's just my minimum, you know what I'm saying? I gotta have like 3 pretzels a day. But like, I would have my 3 free pretzels. Probably not 3. But on a real note, I would get preferential treatment from a family member of mine that worked at Target, the same as anyone whose family works at Target and gets to use their discount code. Like, I get y'all. But you have to accept that what privilege is it's earned. It's not something given. So you see a black man not getting shot by the police, it's because the police know that black man's family, that black man himself, if they don't kill him, it's over for all of them. And that's what that comes down to. That's not a privilege thing, that's a, we're gonna sue the pants off you and your department thing. Fucking cops hate lawyers. They'll put you down if you say the L word. If you in the wrong situation and you say the word, I'm gonna catch a lawyer, cop's gonna look at you like, you're gonna catch a bullet before you can get to that phone. It's because cops know that they act unlawfully in 8 out of 10 instances. If you invite a lawyer down to watch you get booked and arrested, half the time they'll fucking get you a nice cushy cell to wait in too. It's because they know what's legal and what's not. And so they'll tell the cop, I wouldn't touch him like that, he has scoliosis, and if you fucking push him and anything is wrong with his back when he gets to the station, it's a lawsuit. And then you fake it. You get back to the state. I got scoliosis, so it wouldn't even be faked. I'd just be real. I'd just be like, oh, it's slightly hurting. I think that push might have did it when I heard that pop in my spine. And that got me a settlement. Like, it didn't really, but if I was to fake it up like that in front of the lawyer, in front of the cops, gets me the settlement, right? Right. So they don't like to pay settlements because whose check comes out of it? It comes out of the sergeant's checks, and it comes out of the officer on response check. So that's why they'll put you down before they'll fucking let you get a lawyer on the phone when they're arresting you. Best thing you can do is put your lawyer on speaker, especially if you got that baby on retainer. But again, that's not privilege. That's knowing how to abuse the police when they're abusing you. That's called knowing how to reverse the abuse. That's what that is, and that's a tactic y'all need to learn. I know the law, so when they protected my neighbor under the Fair Housing Act, I said, when they protected my neighbor under fair housing, I said, which one is it? Is she retarded? Is she pregnant? Because she's not 18, and I know she's just ugly. So I know fair housing doesn't protect ugly. Well, the officer stormed off and went back to the precinct because that's what the sergeant wanted, was he wanted to arrest a black man and get a black man in trouble, and that's all he wanted. And that's fine. But no offense, when I can tell you that a judge is going to throw out a case for a $5 lawn chair, yeah, I can definitely reason with a cop that it wasn't worth the ticket. Because it wasn't. You were going to waste $200 hours of court paperwork for $5 that a judge was going to dismiss at the sight of, okay, that chair was almost as old as he was, so of course it broke when it got thrown. But on the real note of that is that it's like, yeah, they tried to remove me, but I've been a resident for 5 years here, whereas the person that they should have removed doesn't to this day have letters in their name. They only guess, now they do because they got Amazon, but even then, they had nothing come into the house in their name, and that's the only thing protecting them now. And that Fair Housing Act still doesn't protect them because she's not pregnant, she's not under 18, and she's not mentally handicapped. She is a user, but being a user isn't illegal. And according to federal height jurisdiction statute and codes, like, it's just not illegal. But so they tried to remove me, which was illegal, which I called them out on because I was not necessarily the whole actual problem. So when they tried to remove me, I did explain, hey, you need to take the person who just was invited here. Like, I have a resident, like, I have my ID, which proves my residence is here. I've been a resident for an X amount of periods, so that, again, proves my residency. I have letters with my name on it, proof of residency. But again, it was, in this case with the police, what it was it's not privilege, it's that they're racist and that my neighbors are the right races for them to be on the same side of the fence. Because I'm in a small county. So in this small county, if you're not Paiso or if you're not fucking white, you're in trouble. That's just what it is. And like, they would not pursue a black man with a gun, and that's just what it is the police county has its racism and its ways, and that's what it is. But like I said, you know, you choose to not take proper care of certain issues, such as, I don't know, a crackhead who's sitting not very far behind me, but she's a known user and she has trouble in the system, and on top of that, constantly harasses me and my girlfriend, and on top of that, now again, this isn't an example of privilege, this is an example of a county's racism being split two ways. They'll protect any Paiso, you're safe, and any white girl or white guy, you're safe. And that's wrong. That's not privilege. What you have to understand is that this is a county that has always been racist in those ways. That's why only 10 black people live out here in Federal Heights. Like, if you count the black constituents of Federal Heights, you're looking at maybe 20 people most. It's not a lot. It's because of the extreme prejudice that we experience out here. Because of people like my neighbor who will call the cops and then say, I tried to start a fight, which will bring 6 cops down on me. When all 6 of them came down, I explained the situation. I explained they lied about who issued the attempt to fight. And then because there was 2 liars versus 1 truth-telling person, the sergeant made the younger officers go with that. And that's okay. That's what it is. But on the other end of it, it does confirm that there is not privilege in this county, but racism in the county. And it's protective racism. If you're a crackhead and a heroin whore, you can get away with anything you want on the block. And I'm going to show you. If you're a heroin whore or a crackhead, you can go anywhere on my side of the street down this way, and go screaming at people, screaming, I'm gonna fuck you in the ass, and that's not a problem. But if, as a black man, I remove a chair that was never supposed to be on my property, and I just toss it, and it breaks, that's apparently worth starting a court case over. Now, Officer Hesp, or Sergeant Hesp, I just want you to know we know that that's illegal. Thank you. And I have the City Council looking into your actions. I'm also going to make the City Council look into every incident here, so when you tried to remove me from the premises, and yes, Sergeant Hesp, I am naming you, because you are the biggest bigot on the force to my knowledge, because you were the one who made Chavez tell me that my investigation was moved to investigations. So that meaning that nothing was going to get found on it. And that's not privilege, it's active racism, which is different. You have to associate the two as different. That's a huge thing. I can argue with Mexican and white cops that their sergeants are racist, and they can listen to me all day, the officers, the really good young officers who want to make a difference. But unfortunately, when their sergeant says not to arrest heroin whores, crackheads, and tweakers all the same, that's kind of unfortunate, but that's what their sergeant calls for. So when their sergeant calls for them to not arrest these people and to not take them in, that's what the sergeant's asking for, is he's asking black people to shut up. Your end of the story isn't real, and it's not what happened. Whereas, like I said, the heroin whore sitting behind me is still here. She was never removed from the premises, and I was told it was for fair housing, which again, you're 50 some odd, you got dried up eggs, you done snorted so much cocaine and fucking done so much heroin and meth. You can't have kids, so you're not pregnant. She wasn't 18 at the time of the incident. You're, again, old and dried up. But also, unfortunately, like, not mentally retarded, just made bad choices, and that's not mental retardation. Everyone can make bad choices in life. Like, the heroin whore makes bad choices by still living here with the crackhead. Like, those two should not... Two separate drug uses, and it's just not what you should use. Like, it's not anything like you should be on. And then they're together, and that's awful. And I have to hear them fighting all the time out here. All the time, like right out there. Right over there, they'll be yelling and fighting and arguing and causing a scene. But again, in Federal Heights, when you're Paiso or when you're white, you're good, homie. You can start fights. You can yell at people. You're fine. It's okay. There's no cop involvement for that. But when you're a heroin whore and a junkie and a crackhead, you get to do whatever you want on top of it with this county. So again, it's not a privilege issue. It's well, there's a crackhead privilege issue in this county, but other than that, it's not really a privilege issue. It's more of an issue of lack of oversight from the cops, lack of involvement with the police. I mean, shit, if you have a perp in Federal Heights who has a gun, the police will drop your whole fucking case right then and there, baby. And that's just what it is. It's because they're cowards out here. And again, not the 3 good officers on the force, the ones who are younger and trying to make a difference in their community, the ones who talk to people in their community about shit that happens. No. We're talking about the sergeants like Hesp, who bury cases and investigations that are involving black people. It's really silly how, like, my neighbor's call didn't get them into any trouble despite the fact it wasted valuable police resources for them to not even issue a ticket for a $5 lawn chair that would have been disputed in court and would have cost an officer a job. It's really odd. Because I explained to the officer, you're not ticketing me. I told him he was not ticketing me, and I explained to him why he wasn't ticketing me. Like I explained it to you guys. $5 lawn chair from over 20 years ago. Judge dismissed. Judge isn't even gonna make me pay back the $5. The judge is gonna go, who left a lawn chair that old out front of a kid's house that you just have to fucking fuck with every single day you get out of bed? It's not privilege though. It is open, active racism though. And it is active racism, as my neighbors consistently talk about race in redressing, not me, but they always have to talk about a black kid and getting arrested in the same sentence while looking at me. So maybe it's not at me, but maybe, just maybe, the crack whore and the crackhead and the heroin whore are aiming some shit at me. Like, that's my thought. But when I call the police and tell them how it's constant every day and how it's been for the last year or so, since heroin whore moved in, that like it's been like that. No, it's not right. It's like they said that I tried to start a fight when it was actually her boyfriend who tried to start the fight and then ran inside because I didn't back down because I'm not a bitch. I don't know. When you're not a bitch, people freak out. Like, it's just what it is. But unfortunately, privilege isn't real. Privilege is a waste of your time to pursue as far as going after anything. There are things that are real, and racism can be real. I'm not going to deny you racism. It's what I'm experiencing with this police force. I'm experiencing racism, but it's not all the cops on the force. A cop cannot choose to look for a perp when their sergeant tells them to close the case. Their sergeant said close the case. Why are you looking for a perp? I mean, really. Or shit, like, you've got my neighbors here, and when they fucking told the cops I wanted to fight, they took off in that white car with the hood open down there, and, that would have been least to search if it was me and Taylor taking off. They would have fucking come down on us, and they would have searched our car, but they said because Robert probably would say no, that they couldn't search the car. But I also know that in Federal Heights, you can get a secret warrant from a secret judge in under 35 minutes. So there was no reason they couldn't have searched the car for cocaine, except they didn't want to press someone who was a paiso for cocaine. They just didn't want to do that because his coke use isn't stopped. Like, it's not like it's decreased any less. And in fact, he almost beat his girlfriend's ass the other day out here where I'm standing, like right here. If you look down just a little further, right there they were fighting and arguing, and he was about to beat her ass right there on the street. And that's the kind of stuff that the police allow out here when you're white and paiso, but not when you're black. If you're black and you're yelling too loud or talking too loud or agree to someone's fight, you're the problem. If you agree to when someone else says, hey, you called my bitch a meth-headed bitch, you want to fight, and you agree, you're apparently the one who gets in trouble. And I said, yeah, I did. And I said, yeah, I'll take you on. So remember, in Federal Heights, there is racism and it's active, but there's no privilege attached to it. You could argue that they're privileged to have not have experienced any police trouble, but when you look at their records, she has a mile-long rap sheet that I was able to pull for free. He has a matching rap sheet from Texas. So it's not like he likes Dallas just because he likes Dallas. He likes Dallas because he can't go back to Dallas. That's why he likes the Cowboys, because he can't go back. Because you got a rap sheet this long from Texas. But they don't want to put him back in the system because it'll probably be for life. But again, when your officers are paiso, when your fucking officers are white, when your officers are paiso, and that's been the culture for over 40, 50, 60 years in this county, it creates a problem. However old this county is, it's been a problem since then. I've never seen even a picture of a black officer on the force, of a decorated officer who they've had that was black. But that's just because of the county. They don't like black people. And that is racism. That's active racism. This is a small county. This isn't all of Colorado. This isn't Denver, where you have the most racially diverse police force. Or this isn't fucking Thornton where you have the best police force by any means. My police suck. The young kids want to make a difference but can't go after perps with guns because their sergeants are like, no, you'll get shot and you're the one in a vest. You can't do that. You gotta let the civilians get bulleted up first. But that's pretty much what the sergeants have told us. I plan to call the police force back today, and I'm going to raise the race alarm both directions because he was black. So I'm going to ask them if it was because he was black and had a gun that I pointed out that he mentioned, or was it because they didn't talk to anybody else who saw him following me? Because I talked to the two shops that he followed me between, and the police never showed. So, again, that's not really privilege because he's not getting any, like, privileged favor out of it. What it is they're allowing crime. So, again, this isn't privilege, this was racism. But using my own example, I hope it's demonstrated the difference. There are places where you will go and you'll find it in black neighborhoods the most, where people do get privileged preferential treatment. But when you're black and walk into a black store and the dude says, don't worry about it, just take your shit and go, you good, man. And then charges the next lady triple to cover your ass, that's not privilege really either. That's actually just you being cool with being a dick. Like I'm saying, that's it. You're just cool with being a dick. But like I said, my neighbor's not getting preferential treatment because Michaela, the meth head, the heroin whore who was sitting out behind me, has a rap sheet this big. Robert took in another person with a matching rap sheet. Now, hear me out. These fools steal shit and use Terry to go pawn it. They'll use him to go drop off at the pawn shop. And then they'll go to the lick and buy him alcohol to keep him quiet if anyone asks. So, Terry, Robert, and Michaela, if any of those names mean nothing to you, contact me. If you have a feeling that you've seen a white Ford Taurus with a blue Dallas star in your neighborhood stealing your shit from your property, get back to me, because my boy did. And those people are actually currently being investigated and brought up on charges right now as we speak. So, if you guys have any information that you would like to contribute, I could tell you where the fuckers stay. Other than that, though, I will catch y'all later. This has been Gamer Guy Vladimir, aka Drew. I only mention the first names because if any of those first names ring a bell, you can hit me with the last name to confirm. But do it in the private message section, so that way we ain't got comments with people's names in it. But other than that, I'm out. I'll catch y'all later. This video will probably come out later this week. It'll be the first one in my coming soon videos. And other than that, y'all, I will see y'all later. Catch y'all up later, and I am out. Hit that like, that notification bell, that subscribe, hit that share button, and I will talk to you guys later.